Oh, 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 yeah. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, yes. Welcome back. Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back to whatever the hell this is. It has been a minute. It has been a real hot minute. I just realized I was scratching my armpits on camera and I look like a fucking monkey. It's been a minute, y'all. It has been a minute. Well, for y'all, it's like, it's been a week, give or take. But for me, it's been a month. Um, the last two episodes that came out last week and the week before were both filmed back in September. Um, and they were just kind of sitting in my laptop, waiting to be posted, and I finally did. So this is my first time recording an episode in a month. So yeah, hopefully I'm not rusty. I've actually been like really I've been holding off. I've been putting off filming an episode a little bit because A, my time management skills are atrocious, and two, I've just been very anxious. And who would have guessed it? A teensy little bit. Oh no! I forgot the fucking word. What's it called? I literally thought about the word. I was thinking about the word in the shower because I was like, damn, like, oh my god, blah 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 blah. Nah, this is actually gonna annoy me. Cause like, how did I just forget this word? When you're thinking about something and you tend to get a little. Whoever can guess the word that I'm thinking of in the comments down below, get some head. So everyone go to the comments. Existential. Yes. I remember the word existential, y'all. I don't even know if existential is the right word. Even though I just spent 5 minutes trying to remember what the fucking word was. Yeah, just in terms of like, I don't know. After I posted the first two episodes, I started thinking like, am I funny enough? Am I funny enough to be able to do this? Am I entertaining enough? Am I am I this and am I that? What if I run out of ideas? What if my ideas are dumb and boring and stupid? So yeah, I'm trying my best to overcome that. Every time I think things like, what if I run out of ideas? I look at my notes app because I have so many ideas. But see, and now that's another thing that I'm gonna get into, is it's just like I have so many ideas, but then I start getting once again, I get scared. I'm like, well, are these ideas even, good enough? Are they good enough, or do I even want to talk about them yet? I don't know, cause I hope I don't sound like too high up my own ass when I say this, but there's a part of me that's like, I want to save these for when I'm famous. I know that probably sounds stupid. I really hope it doesn't make me sound like egotistical or something like that. But because in my head I'm like, these are great stories or these are great ideas. I don't want to put them out there. Okay, sorry about that. I thought someone was coming downstairs, and I'm home alone right now with my sister, and I didn't want her to come into my room while I'm filming an episode. So I got a little bit like, let me go out there first before she comes back in here, just to find out that she didn't come downstairs. So I was like, okay, what the hell did I hear? And then she also said I heard knocking, and then she asked to come into my room, and I said no. Um, yeah, on that note, I have been wanting to get into some paranormal stories, but I think I'm gonna save that for the next episode for next week because it's Halloween weekend next week, so I think that would be really fun to do. Anyways, what was I saying before I left? I can't remember, y'all. I can't remember. I just remember I was talking about something like, you know, I'm afraid of putting videos out there. Wait, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. Um, sorry, I'm out of breath because I was running up and down the stairs. Um, yeah, I've had heaps of ideas for videos, but I'm scared that they're gonna be lacking or they're not gonna be as great as I thought, or maybe they are gonna be great. But for some reason, I feel like if they are gonna be great, you know, I should wait until I have a bigger audience so they can strike the way I expect they would. But I'm really scared that that makes me sound really like egotistical or really like, like, I don't know. I think it's just because I have high hopes and I'm scared that those hopes won't be met. I think that's what it is. I have like expectations. I feel like, and you know I'm scared that they're not going to be met. But I need to remind myself that I shouldn't care. I shouldn't care what I put out there as long as I'm happy with it, and I believe that it might make someone laugh, or might make someone's day better, or something like that. I should just do it. I shouldn't worry about if it's gonna be good, if it's gonna be bad. Am I wasting it or blah blah blah? Not wasting it, but um, yo, uh, so yeah, that's just how I've been feeling lately, and how that's why I've kind of been holding off on filming an episode, and that's why this episode is going to be coming out on a Friday instead of a Wednesday, because I was holding off recording it. And there's obviously other reasons as well, like it is it is quite hard sometimes to find a good time to film this podcast, because I obviously live at home with my mum and my four siblings. So it can be kind of challenging trying to find a good time to film an episode, um, and trying to balance, school and home life and stuff like that. And I don't want to film an episode while, like, during the day, because then all y'all are going to hear in the background is screaming and fighting all day. So, yeah. Um, anyways, to move that out of the way, in this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit, not necessarily anything in general. Honestly, this is gonna be a very light, breezy episode. I just wanted to, you know, get back into the gist of it, um, get things running again with my podcast. Because I mean, yeah, as I said, it's genuinely been probably a good month since I filmed an episode, maybe even longer. I can't even remember when, because of what the last thing I filmed was about Chicago. And yeah, I can't even remember when that was. I'm pretty sure it was like a good month ago. Um, but yeah, so what's been happening? What has been happening since then? Honestly, not a lot. Not a lot, unfortunately. My life just a bit boring right now. No, there's things. They're just not in my mind right now. Um, I what's it called? I've been getting back into my horror element just in time for Halloween. I just finished playing Resident Evil 2. Oh, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and y'all, I have had a blast playing them. Yeah, nerd time! Nerd time! I'm about to nerd out, y'all. And that's something y'all are gonna have to get used to, because I need to start incorporating that nerdy shit into my podcast. I remember in my first or second episode, there was something I wanted to talk about, and I was like, y'all, no, I can't expose myself as a nerd just yet. But y'all, I want to do a whole episode on being a nerd, because I have so much to talk about in terms of that. But yo, I've been getting back into my Resident Evil stuff. I played the first three games, the remakes of the first three games. And I genuinely want to do a whole episode, and I just want to be a crash course on the lore of Resident Evil, because there is so much to it. I've been getting into it. I also started playing Silent Hill 2 last night, which I've been wanting to play for such a long time, and I finally got around to start it and play it. And I have been having so much fun, and I actually want to talk a little bit about it. I haven't finished it yet, so but I did want to talk about my first impressions, my theories, and whatnot. Does anyone watching give a fuck? No. Do I give a fuck? No. Y'all are gonna have to sit down, buckle up, take your hands off the wheel, close your eyes, and listen. I don't care if you're driving on the highway. I don't care if you're driving a bus full of children on the way to school. Take your fucking hands off the wheel and listen. Thank you. Um, yeah. So if you don't know, because I'm gonna talk about this as if y'all don't know what Silent Hill is, which there's probably a couple people that don't know. It's a horror game, and it is about a man named James whose wife died, and around 3 years, I'm pretty sure 3 years after his wife's passing, he gets a letter from her saying, "In my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill, a special place," something like that, y'all. In my restless dreams, I see Jacob Elordi filling up my hole. Um, yeah, actually, in my horny erotic dreams, I see that. Actually, it's not a dream. It happened last night. It really did. Anyways, um, yeah. So he goes to this town of Silent Hill to find his presumed dead wife. He believes that she's alive, I think. Um, yeah, and I wanted to talk about what my theory is. So I don't think his wife's alive. Mary is her name. I don't think she's alive. Um, I believe Silent Hill because I know a little bit. I don't know a lot, which I'm happy about. So I don't know any spoilers or anything like that. I but I believe Silent Hill is not a place but an entity. Why did I sound so like freaking? I feel like I sounded so philosophical saying that. But yeah, I believe Silent Hill isn't a town; it's an entity, and it draws mental people, damaged people in, and I don't know, feeds on it. Like I don't know, like maybe it feeds on the mentally deranged or damaged, and they draw them in, because there's other characters that you meet along the way in the game, and they're all trying to find someone. There's a character named Angela, who you meet, and she's trying to find her mum. There's another character I that you meet, and his name is Eddie. I can't remember if he's trying to find someone, but I think he's trying to find something. So yeah, I think Silent Hill pulls all of these, very damaged and, vulnerable people and draws them in and I don't know, like feeds on them or something. Christ. But yeah, I honestly like I'm not that far into the game, so I wish I had more to say, but I don't have a lot to say cuz I'm only up to I don't know, I'm like 2 hours in, maybe 2 3 hours in. I'm up to a part where you're like in this apartment and you're trying to find like clock hands for a clock. So yeah, if any of y'all have played it, hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, no, I've been having so much fun. The atmosphere in that game is just amazing. It's so cool. Obviously the gameplay, the aesthetic, it's great. It's so fun. It's also such a beautiful game. Um, graphics wise, like it's really beautiful. It really is. Um, yeah, another game that I started playing, which also literally just came out today, is Dispatch. Dispatch is a story-based game. Which, ooh, if there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I love a motherfucking story game. So yeah, it's a story choice-based game in the same vein as if The Walking Dead, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Wolf Among Us. Um, and it's made by some ex-employees of Telltale Games, which do any of your bitches know who that is, who they are? Probably not. They made very staple games in pop culture, such as The Walking Dead, as I mentioned before, The Wolf Among Us. I've just named what I feel is their most popular ones. Especially The Walking Dead. Such a yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I played that shit and I cried. And nothing necessarily happened in the story or in the game for me to cry, but I cried because I was like, "Holy shit, y'all! Like, I'm so excited that Telltale is back." Um, because Telltale is a game company that went bankrupt. They went bankrupt and they had to disband. I think around like 2018. 2018. Um, And, Telltale Games, they were a big part of my childhood. Should I have been playing those games as a freaking 7, 8 year old? No. And I'm being so honest, like, genuinely, 8 years old, 9 years old playing The Walking Dead. Like, that was not okay, but hey. Yeah, no. It just, some of those games held a very special place in my heart. Some of those games are the reasons to why I love story games so much to this day. So I got a little emotional after I played the first two episodes of the game because I was just like, I was happy to see that, you know, it might not be Telltale, but it's it feels like a direct successor to them. Um, and it made me really happy. I guess it made my inner child, if you will, very happy. And yeah, I getting emotional now thinking about it. Like I know it's so fucking stupid, like getting emotional over something as like that, but video games truly mean a lot to me. I once again nerd, but yeah, no, they truly do, and um, I know this is something I always say in episodes, and it kind of like ticks me off when I say it. Like I want to do a whole episode on that, because sometimes I'm like, we'll just talk about it now, but genuinely, being a hypocrite, contradicting myself. I want to do. I genuinely want to do a whole episode on video games and why I love it so much. Um, yeah. The reason why I always say that, like, I want to do an episode instead of just talking about it then and there is because, like, some of these things truly mean a lot to me, and I want to make sure that I'm thoroughly talking about what I want to talk about. So I want to I want to thoroughly plan it out and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm not, this is something I, I don't know if I want to say I've been struggling with it, or if it's just a kind of inner personal battle, but I feel like I'm not the greatest at articulating my thoughts and putting them into words. Um and it's something I want to get better at. And that's another thing that I've always been worried about with this podcast is, like, if there's things that I genuinely truly want to talk about, am I going to be able to fully convey what I want to talk about and stuff like that, and at the same time make it entertaining, make it funny, make it, maybe if I want it to be educational or inspiring, whatever, um yeah. I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't think I'm that good at articulating my thoughts, and I really want to get better at it. And I feel like a way to get better at it is to, plan out my episodes and stuff, like thoroughly plan it out. Um and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why there's certain topics that I start talking about on my podcast, but then I'm like, "No, wait. No. I want to save it." Because I don't want to, I guess, this, as I said, yeah, I'm just repeating myself here, but yeah, there's like certain topics where I want to make sure I do them right. And maybe that's just a perfectionist in me. I don't know. Why am I picking at my feet? Good God Lord. I scratched my armpits. I've picked my feet. I'm truly a primate. Like, I am a gorilla of sorts. Jesus. But yeah, I'm still moving on, but still in the same vein. Let's carry on talking about media. I'm still watching Dance Moms, y'all. Oh my god, that shit is so long. I'm only on season 4, y'all. Out of, like, I think 8 seasons, I'm only on season 4. But I do want to say, I think the first time I spoke about Dance Moms was the first episode, and I think I was probably still on the first season, maybe the second. Um, so I don't know what exactly I talked about then, but right now I don't want to talk too much about Dance Moms because who cares? But so many of the characters that I didn't like has grown on me. One being Melissa and Jill, both of them. Like, I was never a fan of their characters when they first, like early on in the show, but I've grown to love them so much, especially Jill. She's so um yeah, she's so funny. I love her. She is a baddie. Christy and Kelly, that's still my favorites. Kelly has unfortunately left. Um, due to the infamous "get your finger out of my face" fight, and it was really sad to see her go. I remember watching that scene, and I've seen that fight before. I've seen it on, like, compilations. Other YouTubers reacting to Dance Moms fights and stuff like that. I think I used to watch Lucas Crookshank. He's the guy that used to play Fred. He's fucking Fred. Y'all remember Fred? Oh my god, y'all. Yeah, I used to watch him all the time, and he always would react to, like, the Dance Moms fights, and that's how that's how I think. No, I was gonna say that's how I know about Dance Moms. That's not how I know about Dance Moms, but that's, like, what got me intrigued. And for so long, I was like, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. And, like, 5 years later, I finally did. But yeah, I remember watching that fight through his video, and I thought it was hilarious. And it's still funny to a degree, but I don't know, watching the show and seeing it happen in the show and knowing the context and also the aftermath, it hit way more different. Like I was just like this was crazy, and like must have been truly traumatic for some of those kids. Um you know. And then again, I was watching that shit laughing about it, and I was like 13 years old. And now as a 19-year-old, yeah, as I said, it's still hilarious, low key. But I don't know, I guess like knowing the layers to it, especially between Kelly and Abby's relationship and the way Abby treats Paige and Brooke and their relationship, it means something different. Like, it truly, that fight meant something different. And it was jarring to watch it, and it filled me with like so much emotion, especially because Kelly, Paige, and Brooke are some of my favorite characters, and to see that happen to them, and then for them to also have to leave, it was really sad. I miss Kelly. I'm missing her right now, and I know that this is the last season. I'm pretty sure that Christy and Chloe are on the show, which is really sad because Chloe is one of my favorite characters, and I think I talked about that in the earlier in an earlier episode. Yeah, Chloe is like she's truly the underdog. And I'm always rooting for the underdog. One thing about me, I'll always root for the underdog. I think honestly that is because I saw myself as an underdog, especially my like early years, like in primary. Don't worry, y'all. I'm not gonna spend another 30 minutes, um, about talking about trauma dumping about primary, y'all. Don't worry. But yeah. Also, I hope you all can see me. I was as I was talking, I realized that the position I'm sitting in, I'm not entirely sure if any of y'all can actually see me. So hopefully y'all can. I can't be bothered getting up, so sorry about that. Maybe I should just in case. Nah, it's fine. Um, what's next? I did write some things down for what I wanted to talk about in this episode. Um, what's it called? Yeah, I talked about. Okay. Oh yes. So one thing, I was talking to my friend about this a couple nights ago. How I feel like I don't hyperfixate the same way that I used to. Like I still hyperfixate on things and stuff like that, but compared to how I would hyperfixate as a child, it's not the same. And I kind of miss it. I really do. And let me just add real quick. I tried to like do some research so that it'd be like why people hyperfixate, and I was gonna like I thought that it like I believe that the reason why I don't hyperfixate the same way that I do is because my attention span is truly so abysmal thanks to fucking TikTok. And I was gonna do a whole rant on how I thought that yeah, I don't hyperfixate the same way that I used to because my brain and my attention span has truly um rotted thanks to TikTok. So I looked it up, like why do people hyperfixate? ADHD. And that would be ADHD. And I was like, oh, oh. And I hate to say it, y'all, but every time I'm like, I wonder why I do this, I wonder why I do that, and I look it up. First thing that comes up. So actually, that would be a symptom of ADHD? Oh. Right on, right on. So, yo, honestly, wouldn't be surprised though. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm scared that I just made it sound like that was a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Um. Oh, but in terms of like not that I don't know. I'm not educated on ADHD, but so not that it's a medical thing, but on the same kind of wavelength, I guess. Okay. I have a SVT. Not an STD, not an STD, please. I don't have an STD, but not that there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Anyways, I have a yeah. Let me actually look up what that or SVT. Well, STV, SVT. I got an SVT, y'all. An SVT is supraventricular tachycardia. And it's a medical term for a heart rhythm that is abnormally fast and originates in the upper chambers of the heart. Um, so yeah, that's what I have. Let me keep reading this so y'all know what it is, because I'm not gonna properly explain it. While usually not dangerous, it causes sudden episodes of rapid heartbeat, often 150 to 220 beats per minute, and can lead to symptoms like pounding in the chest, dizziness, and shortness of breath. Treatment can include vagal maneuvers. Vagal? Like vagina? Wait a minute. What is a vagal? Hold on. What is a vagal? Vagal is an adjective that relates to the vaginous nerve, the 10th cranial nerve that runs from the brainstem to the abdomen. So it is your puss. This nerve is a key component of the parasympathetic nervous system and regulates. Okay, wait. So what is it? Like, is a vagal a puss? I'm confused. Oh no. Okay. No. The vagus nerve is the nerve that runs down from your brain to your abdomen, which I'm pretty sure that's literally what it said, and I just was like, no, wait, vagina. Um. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, treatment can include vagal maneuvers, medications like beta blockers, or catheter ablation in more persistent cases. Um, so yeah, so that's I have an SVT, and I'm pretty sure it's because I have, if I'm correct, the doctors told me I have like an extra piece of tissue on my heart. So sometimes when my heart rate elevates, like the electrical current, instead of slowing down, will keep going due to that extra piece of tissue or something like that. So yeah, that actually happened last Friday. Um, Friday, yeah, well, last Friday, yeah. That happened last Friday, and holy shit, y'all! I was told by the doctors that if it happens and I can't get it under control, to call the ambulance. So that's what I did. Now, first of all, though, I didn't want to. And I remember messaging my friend, and I'm pretty sure she was getting so pissed off at me, which, I would too. Because I was like, oh, I don't want to call the ambulance because then the ambulance is going to have to come to my house. And, like, all of my neighbors are going to see and they're going to be nosy and it's just going to piss me off and I'm going to get overstimulated. So I held off calling the ambulance. I was like, well, heart attack, ambulance, heart attack, y'all. But I finally did, obviously. I rang the ambulance. I was like, hey, y'all, just want to let y'all know. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, they're on the phone to me for like 5 minutes, trying to like properly assess the situation. I had to do a stupid fucking thing. We have to flip over. Y'all want to see? Let me show y'all. Okay, so what I was told to do, because I was told to do this, when I first got diagnosed with this back in like I'll get to that soon. But I was diagnosed with it like in like 2022. Yeah. And I was told to, if it happens, to like blow on my thumb and then flip upside down. Well, that's what I thought at least. But no, what I had to do was like blow on my thumb until I feel like I can't blow no more, which isn't a problem for me. And then flip over. So I'd have to go like, I'm showing y'all. Okay, hopefully y'all can still hear me. I'm gonna talk a bit louder just in case. So, hi guys, welcome to medical science class. I'm here to show you what to do if you have a SVT attack. So what y'all want to do is take your thumb, put it in your mouth, blow, blow, blow. Oh, well. And then when you feel like you can't blow no more, you gotta... Yeah, that's what you have to do. So, just... Imagine Jacob Lordy is there. Imagine Jacob Lordy is right there right now. Imagine seeing that. I'd still film it and post it. So, yeah, that's what I had to... I hope y'all could hear me. That's what I had to do. So I had to do that on the phone to this fucking poor lady. While I was on the phone with this poor lady, it was truly humbling, to say the least. Yeah. So, anyways, I do that, and then I'm like, yeah, babe, sorry, that's still not going. It's still going. Like, it's still beating like with 1,000 fucking beats per minute. Like, it's like beatboxing right now. So they're like, okay, well, the ambulance is on the way. So anyways, I ended up calling my friend because, I didn't want to like, because my thought was like, let me call my friend because, I'll if I talk, because usually when I freak out, I tend to talk way more than I usually tend to do, which is crazy because my mouth goes. So then when I'm scared and I'm saying that I talk more, just imagine like 10 times worse. So yeah, I call up my friend to like say, hey, I'm just gonna stay on the phone with you until the ambulance comes. I was explaining to her what happened on the phone and blah blah blah. I was telling her like, hey babes, I really need to go toilet, but my toilet is upstairs. So I was like, is it a good idea for me to go upstairs, which is probably just gonna elevate my heart rate even more because I'm unfit to shit. So going up and down the stairs, especially if at a fast pace, I'm out of breath already. And she was like, maybe don't do that. But I was like, okay, well, it's either this empty bottle that I pee in or I go upstairs. So, anyways, I ended up just going upstairs, going toilet, and I decided, okay, since the ambulance is on the way, let me sit in the lounge so I can like keep an eye out for when they get here. As soon as I fucking sit down on that couch, guess what? Boom, 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 boom. That shit decided then and there. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and slow down. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and embarrass you and slow down so the ambulance is coming for no reason. And I remember sitting there and I was like, that's actually about to fucking piss me off. Because it was probably going for nearly an hour. It started at like maybe 3:10 p.m. and it went on until nearly like 4, if I'm correct. So yeah, so the ambulance gets here and I'm like, I don't even want to fucking open the door. Like, they're gonna come, knock on the door, just for me to say, hey y'all, turn around. It's over with. So anyways, I go to the door, I open it, and I'm like, hey y'all, so it actually just stopped. And there's like three of them, by the way. This one guy holding like a big fucking case. I don't know what was in it. Hopefully cocaine. And then two other ladies there. And the lady in the middle looks at me and she goes, and I saw her face. I was like, oh, yeah, sorry. So someone is probably actually dying right now, but instead y'all are here. So then I was like, so what do y'all want to do? Do y'all still want to like check me out or what? Because every time that this has happened, they had to connect like these wires up to me to that monitors my heartbeat and do some tests for my heartbeat. And then I'd usually have to stay behind like in the hospital for like 30 minutes or so. So I assumed that that would happen this time, even though I did not want to go to the fucking hospital, bro. Like if they told me like, hey, we're gonna take you to the hospital, I would have killed myself right then and there. Bitch, try and take me to the hospital if I shoot myself with a gun. But yeah, I still wanted to know, like, y'all, do y'all still want to, like, check out my heart rate or what? And then the lady in the middle, the one that dropped her face when I said, it stopped, she was like, it's up to you. And I was like, up to me? Last time I checked, I don't have a doctorate. Is that what they have, doctorates? Or do they just have, what's it called, diplomas? Diplomas? Certifications? Hello, what's it called when you wait? See, this is why I'm not going to university, y'all, because I don't even know what you get for graduating. It's not a diploma. It's a something. Fuck, who cares? Y'all are the experts. Like y'all. That's my. I mean, that's what my thought process was like. Y'all are the experts. You tell me. So I was like, well, I'm not sure. What do you think? And she goes, no, it's really up to like, do you want us to check you out or not? Because we can go right now. And I was like, oh. Yeah, you guys can just go ahead and leave. And then they should like, okay. And she left. I was like, oh. Right, sorry for wasting your time, love. Sorry, you want a tea or coffee before you leave or anything? Oh, no, someone's actually having a heart attack right now. Gotcha. See you later. Yeah, bye. Yeah, no. So that was so embarrassing. But yeah. Anyway, so that's, that's happened. I've only been diagnosed with that, yeah, since like probably 2022. I think 2022 was like the first time that it happened. Um, the first time that it happened, I remember like I was chasing my little brother around or something while my mum was cooking dinner, and then it happened, and obviously like it freaked me out because like I was like, what the hell is going on? So I had like a panic attack, which didn't help. But I didn't realize I was having a panic attack. I genuinely like was like, oh shit, I'm dying. Like I'm actually about to fucking die. So I remember telling my mum, like I was like, mum, something is wrong. Like I like call the ambulance. Something is truly wrong. She didn't believe me. She was doing the washing and she looked at me and she goes, ugh. And I was like, oh, wait, because I'm actually about to die right now and you rolled your eyes at me. Right, cool. So anyways, I was like, okay, well, guess I'm gonna fucking do it myself. So I go into my room and I call up the ambulance. And I'm like, hey y'all, so I'm like in my room right now, and I think I'm dying. And the same thing kind of happened. Obviously it's fine because it was the first time, so it was good that I got checked out. But the same thing happened last time. What I did was I called them and they're like, okay, we are on the way. So I ended up laying down on my bed until, and I ended up like I think I started dozing off, which probably wasn't good. Especially because I didn't know what the hell was going on and I could have actually been fucking dying. But so I decided to go to bed and go to sleep. But lo and behold, um, as I was falling asleep, it stopped. So the ambulance came, and I told them like, hey, so it actually stopped. But then they're like, okay, but we still want to check you out. So I was like, okay. So they took me to the ambulance thing, and they hooked each ECG. That's what it's called, the ECG, I think. They hooked that up to me, and they just checked my heart rate, and they're like, yeah, we can see that it was going pretty fast, but it's normal now. And then they kind of just left. Mind you, while this is happening, my mum's inside, and she needs to pick up my she had to pick up my uncle that night. All the whole time she's just like, how long is this gonna take? Because I want to go do my shopping and pick up your uncle. And I was like, oh, wait, mum, because I'm actually dying right now. Wait, I was actually genuinely. I remember being so mad at her after that. Like, I was like, damn, like I truly could have died tonight, and you didn't care. That's wow. Yeah. But anyways, so and then it didn't happen for like a good couple of months. So that happened like I remember that was like August, July of 2022. And then I think later on in that year, like November, December 2022, it happened again. After an exam for school, me and my friends went to the park. There was this trampoline at the park, and I remember I got really lightheaded, which is something that usually happens when it starts. I get lightheaded and really dizzy. So that happened, and then I realized I felt my heart boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh fuck. So I was like, I don't know what to do, and I was like, you know what? Last time it just stopped by itself, so maybe this time it'll happen. There was this boba store nearby, so and I was like, okay, well let me like use the bath because I had to go toilet as well, which was not helping. So I went into this boba store. I was like, hey, can I use the toilet, y'all? And I didn't want to tell them about the heart thing, so I was just like, can I use the toilet, y'all? And then they're like, sorry, we do have a toilet, but it's only for staff. And then that's when I was like, whoa, fuck. And I think one of the ladies was like, are you okay? You look very pale. And I was like, no, my heart is like beating really fast and I don't know what's going on and I really need to go to the toilet. I feel like I can't breathe. And she's like, okay, do you want us to call the ambulance? I was like, yes, please. Mind you, some of my friends are still out by the fucking park playing. And then one of my other friends, he's just standing with me, probably like confused how like, wait, what's going on? Like, am I gonna have to perform out the mouth of this man or what? Um, yeah. So, anyways, they give me a fucking paper bag. So I'm like sitting in the corner of the boba store, fucking going. There's fucking people coming in, just like staring at me in the corner of the store. Anyways, they call the ambulance. The ambulance people get there. And mind you, this is at a mall. Like this is at a shopping center, bro. And it's straight after school. There's people everywhere. I hated it, my lord. But yeah. So I hop into the ambulance, and they do this. They do the. That's the first time they had to do that Vagal maneuver, where they had to spread my coochie wide open, and then they gave me a syringe to blow on, and then they like flipped me over, and when they did that, it stopped. And but then they were still like, you know what, we wanna take you to the hospital and and properly do the ECG test and do a blood test. And I was like, okay, okay. So they took me to the hospital. They did my blood test and stuff like that. And they made me wait for like a half an hour to an hour. And then that's when I got told hey, so you actually have, and they told me what I had. And I was like, oh, so am I gonna die? And they were like, it's not necessarily anything that can hurt you. It's just it's more of an annoyance, which I was happy to hear about. But they did say, but if it does happen again, do these maneuvers that we did to you today, and if you keep trying and it doesn't work, then call us up. That's when call the ambulance, because there could be something wrong or something like that. So yeah, and then and never. I think after that it didn't happen for like a good year. And I want to say that the next time it happened was like last year, after 2022. It didn't happen for a good like year, nearly 2 years. And it happened last year. I remember I was for some reason jumping up and down because me and my friends were, I don't know, we are about to go somewhere. I forgot what it was. I forgot why I was like so like hyperactive. But I remember jumping up and down, and then it started again. I mean, it started, and I was like, "Oh, at school, you're having a laugh. There's no way this is about to happen at school." But my attention-seeking ass was like, "Wait, actually, let me go near my crush and tell my crush this is happening, so I get some attention, free attention. Hello." No, they were not there. They were at a game. Um, Funny how that's like the first thought that came to mind was, "Oh, attention to me, attention to me." But what's it called? Yeah, so I remember it started, and I was like, "Fuck, what do I do?" So I remember I just sat down in one of my like one of the classrooms, and there was a teacher in there, and I remember like I was like freaking out, and I think a bunch of like my friends came in to check on me, um, and they're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I guess I just got overstimulated, and I was like, "Can everybody just get out?" Like I was so rude, bro. I remember cringing so hard afterwards, cause I was like, God, I was so like aggressive for no reason. They were just trying to check of me on me and stuff like that. And then I think the teacher that was in there, she was like, "What's going on?" Like, and I was trying to explain to her like what was going on. She's like, "No, no, I think you just need to calm down." And I'm trying to explain to her, I'm like, "Can you just let me talk?" Because genuinely, I was getting annoyed because I'm like trying to explain to her like what is going on, and she keeps saying, "No, I think you just need to calm down." And I was like, "No, can you let me talk?" And I think she's like, "Oh, okay, okay, sorry about that, babes." So I explained to her what happened, what was happening, and then at some point, I actually can't even remember how it happened. I just remember some parts of it. But yeah, the ambulance got called. I remember the ambulance saying, "Oh, so where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm at blah 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 blah, my school, my college." And then they're like, "Oh, that's right next to the hospital. So can you just get someone that like take you? Because the ambulances are like there's not a lot of ambulances right now." And I remember thinking, I was like, I don't think anyone can take me. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to fucking walk there." So I was like, I don't know if anyone can take me. And one of the teachers there that was like she was standing with me as I was calling the ambulances or the ambulance. She was like, "I can take you," and I was like, "Oh, bless you, lovely lady, bless you, milf." Okay, let me not say that in case I don't know if she would ever come across this, but if she ever comes across this, she's gonna be like, "What did he just call me?" So yeah, um, so she takes me to the hospital, and we get there and we're explaining what's going on. Oh, and y'all take a guess of what happens. They lay me down on the hospital bed. As soon as I lay down, I feel it slow down. I look over to the doctor. "Oh, so it actually just excuse me, it actually just stopped." The same response that I got from the ambulance lady a couple days ago. It stopped? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. And she just walks off. I was like, "Oh, okay." But then obviously they were like, "We want to keep you in here for longer just to make sure you're okay. We do want to do an ECG test on you and stuff like that." So they hook up the fucking wires to me. And I remember when they hooked the wires up to me, I need to take off my shirt because it has to be connected to my skin. It can't be on my shirt. And I remember my teacher was like sitting across from me, and I'm like laying down on the hospital bed. She's sitting across from me, and then dad's just like, "Can you take off your shirt, please?" And I'm just like, "Oh, can you get out, please?" I'm like, "Okay, is she gonna leave the room or is she gonna stay in here?" She's still sitting there just staring. So I was like, "Oh, okay." Start unbuttoning my shirt, hoping she's gonna get the hint. She's sitting there and staring. And then I think she was like, "Oh, do you want me to leave?" And me being a people pleaser, I felt bad for saying yes for some reason, especially because like, "Oh, she just brought me to the hospital and now I'm telling her to get out of the room. Oh, that's so mean." It's not. It's perfectly okay. So I'd say, "No, it's okay." Awkwardly just unbuttoning my shirt as my religious education teachers watching me. um and yeah, and they did all that on me, and then after like 30 minutes they're like, "You can go now." So then my mom picked me up, and yeah. So yeah, y'all, that's life with an SVT. Yeah, SVT. Yes, there has been so many times where. Oh wait, no, there's one more story. Um, so this is just on Friday. that it's the second time it's happened this year. The first time was, I think it wasn't like, it was probably maybe last month. Oh, I actually don't know. Maybe August, but it happened while I was in class. I mean, no, I literally I got to class. I sat down, and then I'm sitting down talking to my friend, and all of a sudden I get dizzy. I get the dizzy spell, and then I feel the boom, 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 boom. And then just as that starts happening, my teacher walks in. She's like, my teacher's very nice. I love her. She's very kind and stuff like that, and she's so sweet. She's talking to me, asking how my weekend's going and stuff like that. And because I'm getting like, I'm freaking out that this is happening. I'm just like, yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. And I stand up and I'm like, Crystal, can you come with me, please? Can you come with me, please? Um, I'm like, and I make it sound so. I no, I didn't say it like that. I made it sound so seriously. Like I got up. I was like, Crystal, can you come with me? Just come with me. And then I like explained to her what was going on. And then I think what and then yeah. And then my teacher came out because I think someone went to go get her, and I was trying all these things to calm myself down because I didn't want to do that stupid shit in the middle of the common room where I flip over and do my Vagal exercise. Didn't want to like do that whole fucking thing. So I was like, is there other ways to calm myself down? So I just sat down and I just talked about something random, hoping that my mind, because obviously when it's happening, I'm freaking out. And when you freak out, obviously your heart rate just gonna stay elevated. So my thought process is, okay, let me talk about something or just talk about what's going on to like get my mind off of it. So I'm not just thinking about it happening. So I'm just talking. I tried running cold water on my wrist because I heard that helps. Um, and what I end up doing is I end up laying down. My teacher comes in, she checks my pulse. I'm like, damn girl, you know how to do this? She's a teacher, so I guess it's makes sense that she knows how to do that. She checks my pulse. She's like, oh yeah, it's going pretty fast. And then she's like, do you want to call the ambulance or call your mom? And I was like, no, like I really don't want to do all that. So I ended up laying down on a couch and I was just talking. And they kept saying like, can you stop talking and just calm down? And I was like saying like, no, like I would much rather talk. Like talking will make me feel better than just sitting in silence. Because if I'm just sitting in silence, I'm gonna feel my heartbeat, and it's gonna make me think about it. Um, yeah. So I just talked, and then it stopped. Um, yeah. So, anyways, what I was gonna say before was every time I tell someone about this, they always hear STD instead of SVT. They're like, "You got a STD?" And I was like, and I'm always like, no, I got an SVT. And one time I said it in front of someone that I liked as well, bro. I think it was like, I forgot what it was, but I was like joking around. Like, I wasn't trying to sound pick me or anything like that. But I remember saying, like, we're like all playing rugby or something. I forgot why. I think it was like a house competition. I can't remember what it was for, but we were playing sports for something. And I remember saying, oh, I can't do this because I got a SVT. And I remember the person that I liked at the time kind of looked at me like, because I'm pretty sure they thought I said I have a STD, and I just remember thinking, oh fuck, oh Christ, no, I promise, no, I promise, I don't got a STD. You can get with me, and it'll be fine. Please, just hook up with me one time. Um, no, yo, please, I don't got a STD, please. Um, so yo, anyways, holy crap. Damn, this has been the longest episode I've probably talked about. I mean, this has been the longest episode I've recorded. 48 minutes. Yikes. Whenever I start filming these episodes, I always like feel like when I talk about the first thing, I check my thing to see how long I've been recording for, and it says like 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh, 3 minutes. I'm like, damn it, what the fuck else am I supposed to talk to? I start to freak out, and that's why sometimes during the episodes, like there'll be little moments where I'm just like, what do I talk about? What do I talk about? Because I always I always talk about like certain things that I feel like is gonna last longer, which probably could if I once again planned it out properly. But then I checked the thing. It's like, oh, only 3 minutes has gone past. What the hell? Um, but yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed that little health rant. I guess another health thing. My eczema has been flaring up, and it's been pissing me off because I have it on my hand, on my finger, my middle finger right here, especially. Um, and I hate putting ointment on it, bro. I hate putting ointment on it. Because I hate when my hands are all like oily and greasy. It pisses me off. because when my hands are oily and greasy, I don't want to touch my phone or my PlayStation controller or my Switch or anything like that. I don't want to touch anything. I hate when my phone's oily, or I hate when my laptop or anything that I touch is oily. I hate when my hands are oily. It pisses me off. My lord. I remember when I used to be a kid, I used to be so overly like stingy about that. Like I used to have a PS Vita, and like I would never touch it without washing my hands. Like if I ate food that made my hands greasy or oily, if my hands were just greasy and oily for no reason whatsoever, I'd have to wash my hands before I touch my PS Vita, because I'd be like, no, I can't touch it with oily hands. It's just gonna, it overstimulates me. It pisses me off. I used to be so, and I used to be like that with other people. Like if someone else touched my thing, oh, I need someone to touch my thing. I'm dry right now. I need it. I need it good. I need it. Anyways, God, I'm so sorry. I hope that me screaming into the mic is not affecting y'all. But yeah, like if someone touched my PS Vita or something on my phone and they had oily hands, I'd take that shit and I'd like have to like grab baby wipes and start like viscerally fucking like um viscerally wiping it down and stuff like that. And even like if I had oily hands and I accidentally touched my PS Vita, like I'd get like, oh my god, no! I'd run into the bathroom, I'd like grab a wet cloth, which was probably wasn't good, but I'd grab like a wet cloth or a baby wipe and I'd like wipe all the parts that are oily. Y'all, ooh, it used to overstimulate me so much. Now, would that be an autism trait? Right. So ADHD, autism, eczema, SVT. Right. Right. I am a genetic wuss, bro. Holy crap. Yeah, I also get eczema on my thigh, but it's not as bad because I can easily just, put the ointment on, wash my hands, be done with it. When I was a kid, I used to get really bad eczema, like, over, yoo-hoo, okay, like here, and like in between my, Jesus, I've lifted up my legs to y'all so many times. One more time. Yeah. So that was fun. Ooh, and I remember I used to scratch the shit out of it, and I probably shouldn't have, but it used to be so bad because I used to scratch it, and that used to be my self pleasure, y'all. I'd pleasure myself by doing that. One thing I used to do, holy, let me tell y'all about this. Now, is this a form of self harm? Probably. Sugar warning. No, that's not even that bad, I would say. When I used to get eczema over here, I would, at nighttime, I'd do my little hot water bottle up, and I'd lay this part when it was really itchy. I'd lay this part on the hot water bottle, and I just like scratch it with the hot water bottle, and something about the heat just like it. I'm sorry to say, it felt orgasmic. Like I used to do that shit, and I used to be like, oh, my eyes rolling to the back of my head. Okay, that wasn't happening, but it felt great. And when I started getting eczema on my fingers, I used to run hot water, and when it'd get really super hot, I'd put my hand under there, which would fucking hurt, because obviously it'd burn, but it would feel so good. Even for like 2-3 seconds, that shit would feel great. If I'm in the shower and that happens, I put my hand under the hot water, and I turn the temperature all the way up, and I just leave my hand there for a good 2 seconds. It feels great. And then I'm like, ah! Like that's what it basically is, because it hurts afterwards. Jesus, I'm like truly destroying your eardrums this episode. I am so sorry if any of y'all are using AirPods or something while watching this. Anyways, I have been filming for 53 minutes, so I think I'm gonna let it go there. This has been truly a doozy of an episode. So yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all here for now. I hope y'all enjoyed whatever the fuck I was talking about this episode. Yeah, happy to be back into this. Although, as I said, for y'all it's been only 2 weeks and now 3. But yeah, for me it's been a while, and I want to get back into it because no, let me stop fucking talking, because this is gonna go on for longer than it needs to, bro. And I already have one of my friends telling me that I need to shorten my episodes. Sorry, babes. To you know who I'm talking to out there. Love you, Crystal. Sorry about that. This episode is not gonna be short at all. Also, hi Crystal's mom and hi Crystal's sister if they're watching right now. Love y'all. Crystal's mum, if you're watching this right now, thank you for giving birth to Crystal. I'm so, thank you. Anyways, yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed whatever the hell this is, and that's all I got. Bye!